that's a different level of influence. There's one level of influence where you're entertaining, right? And you're kicking and you're dancing and you're making people laugh, and, you know, and people come to you for that. And there's a lot of people online right now where that is their influence. So we tend to think that, oh, wow, they must be doing well because they have a lot of people following them. But what do you think is more powerful? Having 100,000 followers or having 10,000, 5,000 or 10,000 people that follow you, but they really rock with you, but they're loyal. But when you give them something to do, they go do it. When you ask them, when you tell them to show up to this event, when you say, hey, I got a resource that can help you, right? So that's really what you want. It's not about the vanity numbers. It's about the connection that you have with your audience. That's why I'm never worried. That's why I'm never worried. I put out content that will be helpful. You always want to try to get better, but the biggest thing is connecting with your audience and really changing and transforming lives, because the metrics and the views is easy. I'm gonna tell you how to do that. That's easy. When you connect with the right people, you get on the right platforms, your engagement will shoot right up. Your likes, your follows, your views will shoot up. Get on the right platforms and get in front of the right people, that'll shoot up. So that's really easy. The harder part is, how do you really help people? That's what we're in this for, right? We're in this to transform lives. We're in this to change people. So in order to be able to do that, we really have to be able to connect with people. And we gotta make them feel what we're saying. And if we're going to change somebody's life, they can't just listen to what we're saying and just be stimulated intellectually. They got to really go out and do something. They got to make change. That's what we're talking about today. How do you make change in the world? How do you have your message connect so much that they have no choice but to take action? That's what we're talking about today. So focus on the connection equals selections, Coach T. So what do you mean specifically by that? Connection equals selection, because when you truly connect with somebody, they will pick you, they will select you, they will come back to you, they will rock with you. When you create a connection with somebody, you have rapport with somebody, you like that person, you know that person, you trust that person. So now when it comes to you getting certain needs fulfilled, even if they're not the best, you would still go to them because I like this person, I have a connection. You'll still go. If everybody hears me, then no one's listening. Coach T, what do you mean specifically by that? I think you might get it, but let me explain it. If you want to connect with somebody, you want to connect with an audience, right? Or I keep saying audience, but I still have my screen share, my bad. So if you want to connect with an audience, right? Realize that what you're really doing when you're connecting with an audience is you're connecting with one person. So if you're connecting with one person, that means that what you're saying to them, they're taking it personally, not in a negative way, but they're applying, they're trying to think about how they're going to apply and what it means, what you're saying to them in their personal situation, right? This is how people consume information. However, if you're one of the people that says, I don't want to narrow down, or I don't want to pick a niche, or I don't want to call anybody out because it's going to, I don't want to leave anybody out, and I want my message to be general so it can reach the most amount of people. I can help the most amount of people. Well, newsflash is that you're actually not going to help anybody. Nobody's really going to listen to you or pay attention to you. Why is that? They're not going to pay attention to you because they don't know you're talking to them, right? There's a difference between if you're walking, let's just say you're in a mall, and you're walking through a mall, a crowded mall, and somebody says, yo, you may or may not turn around. You might not turn around. You're like, they ain't talking to me. I don't know nobody in here, that our voice doesn't sound familiar. You're not even going to pay attention to it. But if somebody says, Deidre, Daryl, your head to snap back. Your head to turn around so fast. Why? Because you know they're talking to you specifically. You feel, even though it can be other people, you're not the only person with that name in the world, right? It can even be other people in there with your name, but because they called you out, because they called your name, you feel like they're talking to you and you're paying attention to what they're saying to you. That's how people are connecting. So if you can't even, if you not, and I'm talking your messaging, right? So this topic today is about your messaging, right? So if in your messaging can be what you say. Your messaging is anything that you're communication. So we say messaging, we talk about your communication. When you're communicating, whether it's on paper, print, email, audio, video, wherever you're communicating and your ideal clients are going to see it, it's very important that you call them out specifically for you to even capture their attention. A lot of times they won't even pay attention if you don't say it, because you could be talking about general success. So like, I'll give you an example. You could be talking about confidence. And you can say, listen, confidence is important because if I'm doing a video, confidence is important because you'll get what you want in life. If you're confident, you know, people will see that you're confident and they'll want to do business with you. People will see that you're confident and you'll just, you'll feel good about yourself in life. Now, I can be your ideal client and I can hear you and I can say, okay, that makes a lot of sense what Kofi is saying. That makes a lot of sense, right? What Shanika is saying. It does. And they'll listen to you, but they won't feel compelled. They won't feel like a Raven fan. Like, that's what you want to create. You want to create Raven fans. So how do you get somebody to feel like a Raven fan? You got to talk to them and talk to them specifically so they know that if you've ever been through trauma, you understand how important it is to have confidence, because you easily get triggered by this, that, and the third that happened to you. So without that confidence, you can't even build relationships the same anymore, right? And you easily get triggered by something that happens. You feel what I'm saying? You see how much more specific and detailed I can get when I'm talking to somebody? Who thinks that person, now that I'm talking to confidence and I specifically highlighted people with trauma, do you think that they're going to feel more connected to me because I'm talking to them about their situation? Makes sense, right? So don't be afraid to niche down. If you're talking to everybody, nobody's going to listen to you. Talk. That's why I went from, before I was working with coaches and, people, experts, I was focused, and speakers, I was focused on helping people. I was focused on all business owners. And I was in business is still kind of broad. Are you in real estate? Are you a restaurant owner? Do you sell t-shirts? Are you a coach? Are you a speaker? What are you? Who are you talking to? Right? Because if I'm talking about confidence to coaches, that's going to look different than if I'm talking about confidence with salespeople, or I'm talking about confidence in some other niche. I'm talking of confidence to, real estate agents that are selling $25 million homes. That's just going to be a different conversation. It's still confidence, yes, but the message is too watered down if I'm trying to use confidence for everybody. But if I can use confidence for a specific demographic or specific audience or role, deeply study your ideal client. Deeply study, write that down. Deeply study your ideal client. So when you deeply study your ideal client, what's going to happen? You're going to know everything about them. If you want to be, and this is like being a great marketer as well too. When your people will connect with you when you understand what they're going through. So, but you gotta really research them though. You gotta know. So that means that I need to know what keeps you up at night. I need to know what are your worries? What are your fears? What are your long-term worries? What are your short-term worries? What are your goals? What frustrates you? What do you really care about? What do you want? Like, you got to really understand people. Why are they doing this now? Why do they feel like they can't do it? So really understand and connect with your audience. I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. One of the things, so, and I was having this conversation with somebody earlier today. You know, one of the reasons why when people, you know, like people like what I've noticed outside of my authenticity, because I hear a lot like, yo, you authentic, you real, I can tell you really care about my success, XYZ, but I'm gonna tell you something specific when it comes to strategy calls and consultation calls. When you really ask penetrating questions like this, people can tell you really care because you're asking very, like, if you notice, if you ever been, well, only I've been on a call with me, right? So if you ever notice, like, I don't accept surface level answers. I always ask why. I always ask, tell me more about that. I always, you know, I might say, what made you do that? Or I'm always going 2, 3, 4, 5 levels deep. Understand your mindset, understand your motivation, understand what demotivates you, understand what you're afraid of, understand what, you know, what you're really looking to achieve, right? If you jumped on a call with me or one-on-one, what am I usually asking you? You know, what are your goals? What do you want? All right, what problem we need to tackle right now? Why are you having that? And I'm very inquisitive. And it's obviously to help you, but it's also because I want to learn more about my market. I want to learn more about what you're going through. I want to learn more about what you're suffering with. I want to know more about what you need. Because that's just being a good, you know, that's just being a good leader, right? But it's making you also connect with me on a deeper level. If I'm helping moms, I can know my ideal niche. I can say my market is stay-at-home moms. Now, if I know my market is stay-at-home moms, but I don't really understand what stay-at-home moms are going through and how hard it is to, you know, to take care of the kids and try to find time for yourself and passion, and, you know, you don't really just want to stay home and just watch the kids all day. You really want to find something you truly passionate about, and you feel like you lost yourself and this and that and this and that. And I can, and I'm studying and I'm researching and I'm seeing like, oh, this is really what you're going through. When I communicate that, you're going to be like, finally, somebody who gets it. You might not say that literally, but you'll be like, yo, finally somebody understands me. That's powerful. When somebody say finally, like you understand them, when somebody feels like you understand them, I'm telling you, like you're bonded to them, you're connected to them in a whole other way, because like you get it. And they feel like, okay, this is somebody who I'm gonna listen to now because they understand it. You know, when you really feel like somebody doesn't understand you, you're not really even open to suggestion or advice, really, because you're like, how useful is this information really? You don't really even know, you don't even really know what was happening, you know, what I'm going through, what my problem is. You don't really get it. So you got to study a market. So Coach T, how do we do that? So a couple things. So one is obviously connecting with people. That's one of the reasons too. I know some of y'all don't like, you know, like have personally connecting and DMing, right? And that, because that's one of our strategies, but that's one of the ways you're going to learn. When you connect with people, you're messaging them back and forth, you're asking questions, you're going to learn. So get on calls with people, do the DMs, do the, you know, like, even if you need to, you know, jump on a free coaching session, if you need help, or if you like just want to learn, just say, yo, I'm giving away 2-3 free coaching sessions this week. You ain't got to burn yourself out. Just say, yo, I'm giving away a couple free coaching sessions. You might even get some leads out of that, right? So you can connect with people personally. This is what we call the mind of the market. You got to understand the mindset of the market. The only way you're going to learn it is if you study it. You got to study it. Like you study for a test, you need to study your ideal clients. So do trainings, connect with people individually. What else you can do? I love reading comments. Read comments. Why don't you go to the biggest influencers in your market and what you do? Find the biggest influencers in that space and read the comments of what people are saying, because what people are saying, they're going to tell you with whoever the speaker is or the leader is, they're going to tell you in the comments what they resonated with, which is so powerful. Oh, yo, I love this when he said that or when she said that. Yo, they right on point. This is exactly how I'm feeling right now. And this is what I used to do. I got this stuff ingrained now, but what I used to do when I started was anytime I would hear a certain phrase or hear somebody say something, or I would read a comment, I would literally copy and paste it into a file, right? So I have Microsoft OneNote. I literally got a OneNote where I just copy and paste it. Anytime I come across somebody who's saying something that I'm like, oh wow, I feel like this is a good way to understand my market, I would just copy and paste it on it. And then I would go back and look, and it's a laundry list of all the different things my ideal client is saying that they want, they need, their frustrations, the legacy they want to leave in life, everything. And now I have it. What else you can do? Amazon, go to Amazon, look up Amazon book reviews. Under your book, everybody, when people give a book review, usually the 1-star and the 5-star people give the strongest opinion about. You don't got to read all of the reviews. Read the 1-stars and read the 5-stars. And you'll get a chance to see what people didn't like about what the author was saying on your topic and what people loved about what the author was saying on your topic. They might say they don't like a certain thing about what you're saying. Like, damn, I say that all the time. Or, oh, damn, oh wow, the way they perceived the way that the author said this negatively. All right, so I might want to stay away from that, or I might want to use that in an example, and vice versa. What else? I like to look up comments under YouTube videos. That's an easy one that you can do as soon as you get a chance. Why don't you look up some YouTube videos on your topic? I don't even need you to watch the video. Just read the comments. Look at the title, what they're talking about, and then read the comments and see what people are saying in the comments. And if you're going to, and I recommend it, you want to get better with your messaging, I recommend everybody, this is my call to action to you. You create a document today or right now, create a document where you title it Mindset of the Market, right? Or put messaging, Mindset of the Market, or you can put messaging. And every time you come across phrases that your ideal client is saying, copy and paste it in there. You can easily do that. Go to Google, YouTube, copy, paste. Oh, wow, this is good. This is good. And what you're going to start noticing is you're going to start really understanding the people that you help and what they're going through today. That's what's dope. You can do all of that and find out today. Because even what people are going through 10 years ago might be similar, but as the world continues to change, you need to currently keep understanding the needs of what your market has. Because there's no guarantee that they're going to have the same exact needs if you're in the same market or helping the same audience. There's no guarantee that 5 years from now or 25 years from now, everything is going to be the exact. Press on the pain and promise pleasure. Now, this is where we're communicating it. It's one thing to say, all right, I think I understand my audience. And this is, by the way, you're always going to be learning about your audience. But there's one thing to say, I'm learning about them. And it's a whole nother thing to communicate in a way that they understand you. To communicate in a way where they feel you. Right? So you can know a lot, but if I'm not actually expressing that to you, you won't feel the connection. So if you're learning everything about me, right? You might say, okay, I work with, people who, let's say, let's go back to the trauma example. Let's say I'm working with people who are going through trauma or went through some type of trauma. Well, you could learn a lot and know a lot about me, but if in your communication, You're not pressing on the pain and talking about my challenges and talking about the goals and talking about the future and how bright the future is and where we could be and how life could look like and what I need to move away from and stop doing. And if you're not really talking about that, then I'm not going to feel compelled to take any action.